All right, my friends, if you're a classic player, bear with me. And if you're a retail player, maybe you can help me with some of this. I was answering some comments on my latest map video about the new Quel'Thalas and other areas and dead mines. And if you watched that video, thank you so much. I really appreciate everyone that watches the videos. One of the comments on there was something like you actually can fly between Eastern Plaguelands and the Quel'Thalas or Zalaman areas now, and there's no more invisible wall. And I wasn't sure if I was getting trolled or was really just unaware of some change that was made. So I wanted to test that here. I came in to test it and I ended up doing some more exploration, live exploration, which I don't normally do, and found some interesting stuff. So this is what I did first. I'm going to sort of try to like recreate this, but live again. But I can verify that as of today, October 21st, 2025, the instance portal is still there to get to the northern area. And if you try to just fly over there, you hit an invisible wall like that. And the more I try to go north, I just keep running into a wall. My bird makes that horrible sound. I'll probably fast forward a lot of this, but I'll go over to where Stratholme would be. And there it is, such a cool effect compared to what we can see in Classic, that you can sort of see it burning and see some of the city down there. But when you try to fly over it, you hit an invisible wall. So then I got to this point and I decided, well, I'm just going to see how far this wall goes if I continue over to the west. I'll leave my map up. You can see I kept running into the wall. And eventually you get over here to like Hearthglen, and over there is Scarlet Monastery, the exterior portion of it. And finally, I believe this is where, oops, I was wrong. Right around here is where you can actually make your way all the way north to the coastline, the northern coast. And we did it. We made it around that sort of invisible wall there. And now I'm actually hitting it here a little bit. Some fatigue. Eventually you get dismounted over here. And I could see in the distance that little bit of Quel'Thalas architecture, the early architecture. Even though this is modern WoW live version, it's still there. Huh, that was interesting. That didn't happen to me before, but it doesn't look like I zoned anywhere. Yeah, I'm still in Eastern Kingdoms. And you can see it says I'm in Quel'Thalas, and I don't ever remember this. This is my first question for my retail friends. What is this big purple orb in the distance? At first I thought, oh, is that the shield? And you can sort of see it. You can see it disappeared there for a second, but see if I move back and I bring it back. Yeah, so there's this giant purple orb. Maybe that's just something that's been there forever and I just don't know. I haven't played retail in however long it's been since Legion came out. It's been a long time. So you can fly a little bit here, going toward the purple orb. It still says Quel'Thalas. And I promise I found something that, at least to me, was very interesting. I do have a question for the retail players, and it's, um, is this something that is very well known, or something that is newly accessible? Will be the question, and I'll show what it is in a second. But yes, you can get over here. You're in this sort of purple orb. It sort of disappeared on me before, and that's the early Quel'Thalas area, and it's called Quel'Thalas. But then you get to here, the purple glow comes and goes. Let me see if I can find the right spot. I believe I was right up in this area where I could see a portion of Stratholme flying up. And yeah, there it is. So there's the like Stratholme uninstanced version of the entire model that they put in. And there was some spot where I was able to climb up before, and I think it's right here. Yes. So you get to this spot, and sure enough, you hit an invisible wall, but you can use one of the oldest tricks in the book as a mage. Yeah, you can blink past it, which they removed a lot of the abilities to do that. But here, you can do that, and since we're still outside, you can actually mount here. And again, I don't know if I'm showing something. This is live modern WoW. I keep calling it modern WoW. I call retail WoW modern WoW because in the old days when we first were playing private servers before Classic, we differentiated retail from what you'd pay for from Blizzard from um, private servers. So retail was anything that was Blizzard. So at any rate, you can see this is the uninstanced entire model for Stratholme that they stuck up here in North EPL. And one of the most interesting things is I'm so surprised that this is in the live version still. It's the version of the model that has the old Naxxramas model in it, in the portion that would be past the green instance portal that is just before you go into Baron after you've fought Ramstein. And you can see it there. And this is the model sort of just nudged in these hills in the northern area of EPL and sort of the border of what would become Quel'Tha the Lost. But to me, it's so interesting that it's the version with the old Nax stuff. And of course, once you go in here, you can't go back out, meaning into the model. But going around here, it's just unfinished terrain on the outside, and then you can see the inside. So I will go into the model here. And inside is this little bit of gray would be like one of the green sort of slime waterfalls that's coming down from the big ziggurat for Nax up there. This would be like the mini ziggurat that you would go on to teleport up into it if they had done their original plan, which was to have you zone in from within Stratholme, which of course they removed that idea altogether. Here's another sort of incomplete ziggurat here. Go down, you get like below sort of the main level. And of course, we're going like the reverse way back to where like Ramstein would be. This up here will be the gate where all of the skeletons would spawn and run out to you either after or before you killed Ramstein. This is an inactive instance portal. Back there. And here's that gate, which you normally can't open, but now you can. Because again, we're not in the instanced version of Stratholme. This is the uninstanced. And so it's going to be a little different. So because it's uninstanced, you can actually mount in here, which I'll do in a second. But here is Baron's ziggurat where the 5 guys would come out. And as you can see, I do get to an invisible wall that I can't blink past. And in here would normally be a big bright area where you'd fight Baron. It's dark in here, so this is just a little bit different. And that glitched out just a little bit there. And just going through, you can sort of see the full thing on the map here. We're able to mount here. This is my big flex, my original white stallion mount that I brag about quite a bit. So again, you keep seeing this sort of big purple shield thing, which maybe everybody that plays retail knows exactly what this is, and I'm silly for even asking about it, but I don't know. So here are the ziggurats that you would have to clear to open Baron. That one is Baronesses, maybe? I don't know. And that dismounted me here. Very interesting that this instance is in the hills, so you can see a lot of the hills from the background of EPL behind there, which you normally can't in the instance version. There's another of the ziggurats. I think that's the one with Baroness in there, and the other one was Malik or whoever he is. Another gate. This is the gate that goes toward the back entrance. Here's the chapel, so this is all the same. Now I can mount here. This would be the way out, but you can't actually get out of here because none of these are like live. This isn't the live portal. This isn't the same spot where the actual back entrance would be. You can see because of the view culling aspect, this sort of goes in and out. Let's see if I can get back to where I could actually see the portal. No. So some like weird shenanigans going on with the camera here. But you can't actually zone out there. And if we head over this way, which would be the way to go over to live side, get dismounted at certain ones of those areas. King Square, that's the front entrance over there. And I think those would be live portals if I was to go there. That's the way out to EPL, which we're still in, or excuse me, yeah, that's the way out to EPL and Eastern Kingdoms, and we are still technically on the Eastern Kingdoms map. Probably get this, no, I was going to say I probably get dismounted there. Back this way and over toward live side over here. None of the mobs, no Timmy. I think that looks a little different, but maybe it's the same. And you can't go real far in here. It's not like you can go all the way to Balthazar, and in fact, you hit an invisible wall right up here. Yeah, that's as far as we can go. And it keeps saying I'm in Quel'Thalas. And the reason, if I spin the camera around, is because you're actually hitting terrain over here. This model is just in terrain, and I hit the terrain even though because of the view culling aspect of being in this model, it shows the model and not the terrain. So anyway, that's as far as I went in here. To me, it's so interesting that in this 20-year-old game that is the modern version, this is live retail, there's still the ability to explore and see things like uninstanced Stratholme and the unfinished knacks and everything else in there. So there's a little bit of unscripted, very rare live exploration from me. Hope you enjoyed. Take care, folks.